Let me guess, you woke up today, looked in the mirror, and wondered why you feel like a sluggish, decaying sack of heavy cells. I'll tell you why. Because you possess a staggering, self repairing organic machine designed by a mathematical genius, and you are actively treating it like a rented dump. I am Dr. Stick. I analyze biological systems far more complex than your tiny primate brain can fathom. Over the years, I've seen every catastrophic mistake a human can make with their biology, mostly because I used to make them myself. Today, I'm giving the cheat codes. If you apply these principles, you will halt your own physical decay. If you ignore them, enjoy your inflammation. Let's get this over with. Rule number one, the intake protocol. You eat when the clock tells you to. Why? Because society arbitrarily decided 12 p.m. is lunchtime. Stop it. You only eat when your body issues a genuine biological demand for fuel. If you're not hungry, keep your mouth closed. For years, I grazed endlessly after dinner, ignoring my own satiety signals. When you wait for actual hunger, your metabolic engine runs efficiently, instead of flooding with unneeded glucose. And the same goes for liquids. You've been force-fed this delusion that you need to drown yourself in water every hour. Drink when you're thirsty. When you guzzle water blindly, you're diluting your electrolytes, specifically sodium. You are literally creating a state of intracellular dehydration by drinking too much liquid. It's embarrassing. Here's a hydration hack for your operating system. Carbonated water absorbs better. Don't ask me why right now, just accept it. Furthermore, plant phytonutrients act as a delivery system. I take a massive glass jar of water, throw in naturally decaffeinated tea bags, and leave it out in the sun for 2 hours. The sun's infrared spectrum fundamentally alters the structure of the water. Your cells absorb this structured water like a sponge. Try it and thank me later. Rule number two, the fasting mechanism. We've covered this before, but you clearly weren't paying attention. The frequency of your eating is just as critical as what you put in your mouth. Your ancestors did not have a vending machine accessible every 90 minutes. Your body was not engineered for continuous digestion. When you engage in intermittent fasting, your body activates autophagy. It acts like a biological Roomba, hunting down damaged, misfolded proteins and recycling them into fresh tissue. It incinerates pathogens, viruses, and mold. This miraculous cellular cleanup only happens when your digestive tract is empty. Which brings me to the greatest crime you're committing against your own biology: snacking. Eating between meals is a catastrophe. Every single time you eat, especially processed garbage, you spike your insulin. You're locking the metabolic janitor in the basement. If you change literally nothing else about your pathetic routine except eliminating snacks, your baseline health will skyrocket. Rule number three, the carbohydrate ceiling. Stop looking at calories. Look at the carbohydrates. The snack industry is hiding starch, maltodextrin, and flour in everything you consume. It is hidden sugar. Your biological engine was not built to handle this continuous glucose assault. Cap your intake at 30 grams of carbohydrates per day. Force your body to burn fat for fuel instead of waiting for its next sugar hit. And speaking of sugar, the next time you get a blood test, demand a fasting insulin test. Doctors are obsessed with your blood sugar, but your fasting insulin will spike 10 to 20 years before you develop diabetes. The medical establishment waits until the engine is on fire to check the temperature. Test your fasting insulin. If it's high, you actually have time to fix it. Rule number four, chemical components. Let's talk about vitamin D. You are deficient, period. It controls 10% of your entire genetic code. You need 10,000 to 20,000 IUs daily, and exponentially more if you're battling autoimmune issues or chronic inflammation. But vitamin D is useless without its manager, magnesium. Most of you are desperately lacking magnesium. It controls calcium. If you get muscle cramps, spasms, or twitches, that is road calcium firing off because there is no magnesium to keep it in check. Then there is potassium, the biological tranquilizer. You require 4,700 milligrams of this every single day. It calms the nervous system, drops blood pressure, and supercharges your cellular energy. Now let me save you billions of dollars. The multivitamins you buy at the grocery store, they are toxic waste. They are synthetic illusions manufactured from cornstarch and sulfuric acid. Your body doesn't even recognize them as food. Throw them in the trash. If you're going to supplement, use high-quality, food-derived sources. Furthermore, our soil is dead. We grow food in sterilized hydroponic chemical baths. You are missing trace minerals: zinc, iodine, manganese, selenium. Supplement them because your overpriced grocery store produce is nutritionally hollow. Rule number five, the structural integrity. If you want to stabilize your blood sugar and force your body into high energy output, Eat red meat, grass-fed, nutrient-dense red meat. It's not just about the iron, it is the raw, high-quality protein your architecture desperately needs to rebuild itself. Now, if you have a history of swallowing antibiotics like candy, your gut microbiome is a wasteland. The industry told you the bacteria would bounce back. They lied. You need to reintroduce those ancient microbes, ferment your own probiotic, yogurt-like mixtures, repopulate your gut, and watch your inflammation plummet and your energy stabilize. We are on the subject of physical structure. Stop overtraining. Beating your body to a pulp in the gym without adequate recovery completely flatlines your testosterone and triggers massive inflammation. Rest is when the machine actually rebuilds. And for those of you over 50 complaining about stubborn fat on your arms and legs, listen closely. It's highly likely that isn't fat. It's age-related muscle atrophy. Dieting won't fix it. You're literally wasting away. You need heavy resistance training and magnesium to reverse the decay. Rule number 6, damage control. Let's say you fall off the wagon. You eat a massive plate of pasta. You just severely depleted your vitamin B1, which will instantly trigger anxiety and stress, causing a vicious cycle of more junk food cravings. Immediately take B1 to mitigate the biological fallout. And a word of warning on iron: never take a synthetic iron supplement unless you are actively bleeding out. Iron does not leave the body easily. It oxidizes and rusts your internal organs. If you truly need iron, eat beef liver. Respect the biological format. Finally, if you're ever forced to undergo surgery, or if you're pregnant, megadose vitamin D3. I'm talking 50,000 to 100,000 IUs in the days prior. The surgical outcomes and the neurological development of the child are fundamentally dependent on it. And one last thing, invest in a heavy-duty water filter. I just tested my tap water and found forever chemicals at levels 78,000 times higher than the acceptable limit. Unless you actively want to mutate, stop drinking municipal tap water blind. Your body was built flawlessly. Stop standing in its way. Put the fork down, drink only when necessary, and respect the engineering.